We have two of the biggest game improvement irons in our hands today. We have the Callaway Elyte and we have the TaylorMade Qi.
Make sure you stick around until the end because we're going to put these up against each other. We'll look at the data and we'll pick which one we prefer.
Yes, we will. All right, so we're going to run through the tech really quickly, but we're not going to spend too much time because we've already reviewed these irons. So if you want to know more about that, click the link up here. But just to give you a quick run through, this is obviously the Callaway Elyte. You've got the speed frame technology. You've got the microspheres in here, which is going to give you a great feel. But not only that, hollow body design with that brand new 10X face. So loads of forgiveness, loads of speed, which is exactly what you need in a game improvement iron.
Yeah, one thing that really stands out with the TaylorMade Qi irons is that the flighted CG inside these. Basically, it means that your long irons are designed to be long irons, easy to hit. Then as you get further down with more loft, they're going to be easier to control for those approach shots, give you a little more workability around the greens. But really, rather than some irons that are going to be designed with the same kind of internal structure, these are all going to be different, going to do different things. You don't want your 4-iron to be the same as your wedge. Very clever.
Now, looks-wise,
these things are massive, and that's what you want. A game improvement iron, you don't want something that's small to look down at. You want something big, confidence inspiring.
Yeah.
These do that. I mean, if you get one of these in your hands, it's massive.
It's a shovel.
It's like swinging a shovel. And in that case, in this sense, I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, that is very, very large.
Yes.
But this is also quite large, but not as large as that. I mean, the Callaway Elyte, I think, looks-wise, this is probably one of the best looking, aesthetically pleasing game improvement irons I've definitely seen in a long time. You know, you see a lot of game improvement irons, a little bit colourful, a little bit gimmicky, not with this Callaway Elyte iron. That's not what you're going to get. All right, let's talk about sound and feel. Very important, in my opinion, when it comes to these game improvement irons. The Callaway Elyte gives you that little bit more feedback. Definitely feel it a little bit more in the hands. It's got, to me, I kind of like that because it feels like you can kind of work the ball a little bit. Obviously going into the Qi irons, a little bit softer, comes off really hot.
Yes.
But that's a kind of difference in feel, which I definitely saw.
Yeah, with the TaylorMade, look, it feels fast when you hit it. We were hitting the 6-iron with it, and I mean, you were getting some crazy speeds, which we'll come on to, but it just feels like the ball's coming off like a rocket, to be honest, which is a good thing, especially in the longer irons. That's what you'd expect. Like you say with the Callaway, I think there's a bit more responsiveness there, particularly in the shorter irons.
Yeah.
Almost feel like you can work it, which is nice, especially if you're trying to hit into greens. So I think the Callaway, a bit more responsive, a bit more of a muted sound as well, which I like.
I would agree with that.
But both do a good job in that category, I would say.
Agreed. All right, moving on to forgiveness.
Yes, look, I hit some right out the bottom of the club and they're still performing absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much that they can do, but if you're close to the face, or the centre of the face, particularly the TaylorMade, it's going to do well. I was moving this behind the ball, hitting it out the toe, out the heel. Shots are doing absolutely fine. Callaway, look, the head's smaller, we've touched on that, but still really good levels of forgiveness. I think you can agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. I think with the Elyte, what I found was on those toe heel strikes, the ball speeds are still really good. You're still getting the distance you want to see. But when you hit it out the middle, you are going to see that little bit extra, but it's not too far away from each other. So it just makes that dispersion that little bit better. So especially from a forgiveness standpoint, that's exactly what you need. Now, moving into that Qi iron, it feels great across the face. Obviously a nice kind of softer sound, I would say, acoustically, but across heel to toe, again, really good, really fast ball speeds. But again, because the head's so big, it just does give you that little bit more confidence, which is exactly what you need if you are looking for that extra forgiveness. Okay, so distance. I love distance. It's my favorite.
We know.
But for me, I think, you know, that's one of the most important things in the game improvement iron is distance. And I definitely saw that across the boards. It was pretty even looking at the 6-irons when you go into the kind of mid-iron, into that 8-iron. For me, the Elyte was just going that little bit further because I was seeing a little bit lower spin. The TaylorMade was a little bit shorter, not by much though, but it was spinning more. Great distances. I mean, for a 6-iron, 230-yard carry is just stupid. So that's the kind of distances I was seeing. It just shows you that the stronger lofts are going to give you that little bit added distance, but they're very easy to get in the air as well.
Yeah, look, you say the stronger lofts there, that means that the ball is going to fly a long way. But you make a good point. Like, it's still launching high, which is what you want. That's what these irons are all about.
100%.
Like, you can only have so much control and get these distances. For me, like 6 irons carrying that far when it's a bit chilly and we've got a lot of layers on, that's a really good sign. Ball's going a long way. Not a huge difference. I mean, getting the Qi maybe a little bit further, but then further down the bag, it's pretty much of a muchness in terms of distance. But you can see, compare that to some more player, focused irons. These are going to fly further. If that's what you're looking for, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you are that higher handicapper who's looking for, a set of clubs that are going to give you that forgiveness, they're going to give you great distance. These are 2 absolute peaches, in my opinion. But if it were me and I had to choose, I'd probably go for the Callaway Elyte. That's the one I would go for. What about yourself?
Look, I think the Callaway is probably going to be more workable, maybe appeal to a better player. But honestly, like for the genre, game improvement irons, I'm going for the TaylorMade. They're massive, difficult to miss-hit them, and if you do miss-hit them, they're going to perform well. I think these are brilliant.
Absolutely.
They do the job that they're set out to do. That's what you want.
And on that note, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. We'll see you next time.